you are a conspiracy theorist. So he first labels you. That'd be like in, Russia, them labeling you a capitalist. It's just a way to demonize you during the Soviet era, or in Nazi Germany, labeling someone a communist or a Jew. And that's the term they use. I mean, national television says that if you don't agree with government-run health care, you're a racist or you're a conspiracy theorist. This is the term they use. If you say the banker bailout was a fraud, they call it a conspiracy theory. If you say that water is wet, the sky is blue, and birds sing, you're a conspiracy theorist. Basically, it's a way to just set the parameters, to set the narrative of the debate and say, we are the boss. You're not allowed to question anything we do. And if you critically think or read legislation, or if you do anything other than watch football and suck your thumb or go get collagen injections in your lips, if you do anything but party and just let us run everything, you're good if you just stand down and let us run everything. But if you question anything, you're a conspiracy theorist, and we want to, and they're already doing this, infiltrate your group, and it says your peaceful group, any organization that questions the government, and we need to incite as the government for you to commit violence, to run off reasonable pacifists in your group, and so we can have you arrested and, quote, break up your group. And I read this last night, and I already knew all of this. It was declassified in 1971 that since the 40s they'd been doing this. And I'd read all their tricks and seen the tricks being used against us. And it came out the Pentagon for decades has been spying and Cointelpro and infighting and planting bombs all over the world and in the U.S. to blame it on their political enemies. They do this over and over again. The FBI does it. They have huge divisions that do it. But that had to be declassified by Congress, wresting it away from the FBI. It was more than a 10-year battle to get this in the 1970s. Now, this guy publishes this in full public view. And he is calling for crimes. It is a crime to try to get somebody into my office, somebody we hire, and to try to have them to get us to commit crimes. Remember something similar to that the FBI did and the U.S. Attorney did with Tommy Chong. We've interviewed him about this. Tommy Chong, actor, comedian, no criminal record. His son's got a pipe company selling pipes that are legal, except in a few counties in the U.S., of thousands of counties. It took them 4+ years to get someone hired into their factory. Hundreds of times, the U.S. attorney, through other names, tried to order the pipes into that county where it was illegal. They finally had to get someone employed there who wasn't even in shipping to go in and pack it and ship it. And the federal court said, yeah, we went in, we mailed the pipe, but Tommy Chong goes to prison. Folks, we don't sell glass pipes. But if I hire the wrong person, they'll come in here and ship something like that out, and they'll say in federal court, yes, we came in, we planted it, and the courts are so corrupt, they'll say Alex Jones goes to prison. Now, it came out that Hal Turner, in fact, pull up Kurt Nemo's excellent article, from the federal court documents, this has been in major newspapers, we just linked to them, that Hal Turner, one of the top 5 Nazis in the U.S., is an FBI agent, not an informant, an agent for national security, ultra top secret clearance. I told you that a decade ago. Who does he attack? Me. They also want to radicalize the message. They want to radicalize mainline libertarians, conservatives, so we can be politically demonized, so we don't become mainstream and take our country back. That's why if you say you don't want big government, I don't want health care. I think it's a boondoggle to insurance companies to raise our taxes and cut Medicare and Medicaid. Oh, you don't like black people, Chris Matthews says. Carlos Watson says. They all say it. Keith Oberman. That's a talking point of Cointelpro. And you're like, what does race have to do with this? We weren't talking about black people. Every time you talk about corrupt banks, I have newspapers calling me every week going, Mr. Jones, does that mean you think Jews are evil? And I say, no, I'm talking about banks here. You know, they stole money. They should be held accountable. Chris Matthews is coming here Sunday to interview me. I said, let me guess, talking to his producer. you're going to cut from the Ku Klux Klan to me. And they laughed and said, yeah, that's basically it. And I said, well, I guess I can't say no. You're just going to play clips of me from other news channels and mix me in. And I said, fine, I'm not going to be a coward. Even though it's a rigged, taped interview, I'll stand up to the dragon. I'm not looking forward to it, though. I mean, but I'm going to bring this stuff up to Matthews. But, of course, he'll be taping it, so it'll never be seen. He'll be able to cut out what he wants. Now, I want to take my time this hour going over this. Not just how they're doing it and the history of it and what's currently happening, but how you can counter it. And the fact that they're losing their fight. Why do you think the feds bombed Oklahoma City? To demonize the conservative and libertarian movement. And if you've researched that case, 100% evidence the BATF bombed it. 100% on record. And they had to kill coroners, police officers, you name it, in Oklahoma City to cover that up. Okay? And it came out in federal documents that the Southern Poverty Law Center was running Elohim City that McVeigh was at. Running it. Every case, folks, they don't infiltrate white supremacists and peace activists and mainline conservatives and in the Fed groups. They are there trying to shut them down. And in the case of white supremacists, they don't just infiltrate them, they found them, they run them, or they found other patriot groups to then attack other patriot groups. Ladies and gentlemen, this is their full Pentagon operation. Now I'm going to go to Watson, this segment and the next, and then let him go. But he wrote the most detailed article on this at prisonplanet.com. Give people a document cam shot. Obama Information Czar outlined plan for government to infiltrate conspiracy groups. Again, a modern version of Cointelpro. And I've read this. This is illegal. He's calling for illegal stuff. In fact, I've got the encyclopedia here on Cointelpro. And it says, Cointelpro, acronym for Counterintelligence Program, was a series of covert and often illegal projects conducted by the United States federal government of investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, aimed at investigating and disrupting dissident political organizations within the United States. The FBI used covert operations from its inception, and then it goes into the declassified Cointelpro. Okay, that is declassified Cointelpro. You can read thousands of pages of documents. This guy, part of the Obama administration, this guy, with billions of dollars at his fingertips, smugly and arrogantly thinks he can set the precedent to come out in the open and call for modern 21st century Cointelpro. Now, it's all going on already. But this guy lays out all their tricks, and that's what blew me away. He talks about how we've been discredited. The government's discredited. So what we've got to do is we've got to pose as other conspiracy theorists, that's anybody that questions government, to counter the real people that are questioning. And he talks about it's all in Cointelpro. The number one thing they do is if somebody starts selling books and videos to fund an organization, starts becoming successful, they say, oh, they're getting rich, they've got money. That's how they broke up all the other groups that were real in the 60s. They send in people to cause violence. They spread lies about you. Their favorite Cointelpro is to say leaders of the real movement are threatening to kill people. I wondered why I would get calls at the office from people and talk to them and nothing would be said, and then they would go say I'd threatened to kill them. And this happens over and over again, where now, if it's somebody I don't know, I turn speakerphone on and go, guys, I need you to listen. And a lot of times I just hit a record button and start recording. Because I've got to protect myself, folks. They're coming at me. I've had them try to drop stuff off at the office and then claim stuff. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we've got them coming out of the woodwork here. And then to look at this smiley-faced guy in the Obama administration about to be confirmed as a czar, he just thinks it's all funny. If you did this to him, you'd go to prison. But see, he is an anointed one.